300 kilometers of pavement pounding, 29 brutal stages, 11 weaponly teams, 3 action-packed days, and 1 mountainous prefecture in Japan. It's the Tour de France of running, and on this 70th anniversary of the annual Yamagata Ekiden, I've somehow found myself right in the thick of it, battling it out with these Japanese warriors for eternal glory. So you thought one race video was good? How about 2 in one vid? This is an unprecedented day on the Ran to Japan channel. We're up in the levels. It's a bumper double race video featuring the biggest race on the spring running calendar. The Yamagata Ekiden is where it's at. So I've got a monster challenge on my hands today. First up, I've got day 1 of the Ekiden, and I've got the longest leg of the whole competition, a 20k brutal mountain stage, Tour de France-esque, before coming back again for day 3 of the Ekiden, where I'll be taking on some of the region's fastest runners in a 13k cart horse crushing stage of the Ekiden that could decide the entire race. God, the hype is real. I cannot wait to get into it. So the Nanyo Higashi Okitama team gathered the day before kickoff for a final meeting and then send-off by the local community and supporters. The camaraderie in these Ekiden races is unmatched and reminds me of playing team sports like football and rugby back in the day. It's something that running lacks in general since it's such a solo endeavour, but the team factor in Japan brings a whole new dynamic to races, and is probably why viewership and engagement in the sport is so much bigger here than anywhere else in the world. Now, since the relay legs are spread out all across the whole region, everyone split up into groups and hit the roads to travel to their leg starting point. On the way, we hit a banging lunch to refuel, where I attacked this monster set meal, full of a raw sea fish bowl, braised pork, tempuraed veggies, egg custard pot, and all the classic accompaniments. An unreal collection that got demolished no problem, and it was then onto the hotel that would be our base for the first day of action, and I took to the streets to explore the city of Shinjo. So right now I'm exploring what seems to be an abandoned town, but this is where we're staying anyway for the night. It seems like we're pretty much the only people here. Whether there'll be anyone supporting on the course tomorrow, I'm not sure. But I think especially for my leg, the 20k is pretty much on a main road where there's no houses, nothing going on. We gave it a little course recce earlier in the car, and man, it's looking tough. Just non-stop up and down, rolling hills. And you know right now, my fitness is coming back, but I'm still a long, long way off being half marathon or anywhere close to marathon shape. So taking on a 20k leg, man, I'm actually nervous. I've got the pressure of the team as well on my back. This could be a huge leg, a pivotal point, and I'm just gonna have to bury myself as usual, leave it all out there, which is of course a staple with the Japanese samurai spirit. So the Ekiden are a massive part of why Japan are so good at running. I've chatted about it in other videos, talked about the Hakone Ekiden. So actually the most watched race on earth, more than the Olympics, more than any major marathon, is a relay race in Japan. We're talking about Super Bowl, Champions League final, that kind of level, but outside of Japan, it's almost unheard of. Yet you've got 50 million people tuning on TV. It's that central to the culture here. And it revolves entirely around teamwork. It basically takes a solo sport running and turns it into a huge team event, this long distance relay. So in this Yamagata Ekiden, taking place across the whole prefecture, you've got all these different regions, all these cities that are battling it out against each other to be crowned the most powerful team in the region. So there's bragging rights on the line. We are the defending champs, and it should be a whole lot of fun getting stuck in there with the team. So there's a whole mix of different age groups, and depending on the legs, the distance, some of them are specifically for high school runners or middle school runners, and then there's obviously the longer legs, which are for the big boys. That's for the real marathon monks. But it means that everyone comes together, all different abilities, all different distances, all focused on this one race, and it gets very, very tactical depending on the stages, a bit like, you know, the Tour de France, where you've got hill specialists or the speed men, like the sprinters. So it makes it a whole lot more interesting than just a normal flat marathon. There's way more excitement, way more drama, and it's harder to predict the outcome. And this may just be a local event, but it's treated like a world championship is on the line, with the precise organisation involved. But the preparation that goes into this is next level. I've not seen anything like this before. So I've got sent earlier a document. I'm not sure if this is someone on the team that's put this together or it's an official thing, like from the race organizers, but it's effectively a 50-page document laying out every single team's runner with their recent performances, so from 5K, 10K, etc., half marathon, their age, what club they run for. It's got this for every single team, and it's also got every performance that they've ever done in the Yamagata Ekiden with their average pace per kilometre. And it's basically because they've just announced the team lineup. So it's all kept a secret. It's almost like football, you know, the day before they finally announce the official starting lineup, like from the roster, who you've got on the pitch. Well, that's just been announced. So all the teams, we know who's on what leg. And the idea with this document then, I guess, is that I can basically see my opposition. I can see, right, this team's got this runner. They've averaged this pace last year, or they've got a 10K time of 30 minutes. And you can kind of work out then who's the danger men on your leg and kind of calculate, so if you're going to be in a pack, if this guy's up ahead, if they go for that pace, should I make the move? Should I cover it? It's the nerdiest thing ever, and I absolutely love it. So what I've done is I've been breaking down my opposition. I've worked out all the other 10 teams, and it looks like it's going to be perfect level of competition. Obviously, you don't quite know the sort of form people are in, but based off my calculations, I reckon I should be mixing it in there right at the front, hopefully pushing for, top couple places on my leg. So I've got a different setup to usual. Obviously, I'm normally repping Brooks, but today this is the team uniform. Nayo Higashi Okitama. Yes, I have mastered the Japanese. And it is the 70th running of the Yamagata Ekiden. Cannot wait. So let's hit the start line of my day one leg and get right into the action. So we knew coming into this that our biggest rivals for that overall team championship title was going to be Yamagata itself. So that's like the biggest city in the Yamagata prefecture. Strong team, but I think we're a little surprised on day one just how quick they came out. So we're only a few hours into the running, they've already got nearly a 5-minute gap on us, and we're sitting in second place. So the runner just before me is from the ND Soft team, Mitsutake. He just had like a 7K leg or something, so it's pretty short, but he managed to pull back a minute on the top team, start to close in that gap. So when I picked it up, the Yamagata guy was still long gone, like couldn't see him at all. And I was about 3 minutes behind at that point. So it was full on chase mode. Now, as always, all the data here is coming from Koros. I was wearing that pace 4, and it's pretty interesting to see the stats because this is a point-to-point course and it's got a gradual uphill with a fair amount of climbing and a few little ups and downs in there. So it's not an easy course. And I thought I've got to be careful not to completely pop because 20K right now with my current fitness, that is a long way, man. Even in training, I think I can get to about 10K during these sessions and it's like I'm tapping out. That's my max right now. You know that my cart horse capability is at the absolute lowest they've ever been. Just haven't done any long runs or anything. I'm still definitely building back after that reset, that time off. But I thought if I could average maybe around 310, then that would be a solid shift, and hopefully that would put me near the front of this leg. So I start off right at that pace, even though I'm running the whole time on my own, so like gun to tape effectively. I had the support car behind, so the Nanyo team, the coaches and managers and stuff in the car shouting out the splits and giving me motivation, telling me, okay, we're pulling in on the leaders, because also we've got supporters all the way along the course. Like our team are out there and they're taking splits. So like they've got the stopwatch out, Yamagata come past, bang, okay, we've got that. Then when I come past, they're relaying that to the vehicle behind me saying, okay, he's close 30 seconds and we're at the 7K point into this. That is the biggest team event. Like the support was unbelievable from everyone. It's crazy how everyone comes together. Such like a local community event. And even though we've got 25 runners maybe on the team, there's just as many support staff as well. Each runner has a driver, so that's taking them out to the leg, that's supporting them beforehand, bringing their kit from the start to the end, because obviously you're moving along the whole way. And I felt because of that, I could just raise my game so much versus if it was on my own in like a half marathon or a marathon. It's one thing having a shit race for yourself, but in a relay race like this, if you have an absolute stinker, you've cost the entire team the entire relay. That's how important it is. And people have trained an entire year for this race. But most of the non-elites in this, all the amateur runners, the Shimin runners, this is the biggest race of the year for them. So then I'm like, okay, I've got to give it absolutely everything. And I'm slowly catching up on that Yamagata guy, trying to reel him in, cut back on that time deficit, and give the later runners in the day as much chance as possible. Now this was chaos. You had, just before our leg started, the rain absolutely chucking it down. Great for me being a Brit. It felt like being back home. I'm like, this is prime. The Japanese guys are gonna hate this. And I'm absolutely thriving in the cool weather. But what it meant is because we're on this main road, it's not like the road's shut down. You have police escorts and stuff and vehicles and like almost these army vehicles as well, clearing the path and stuff. But you've still got these massive lorries and things flying past. Because it's all stagnated, so you've got like this guy at the front, the Yamagata guy, he's obviously slowing all the traffic down, and then I'm picking the pace up. So I'm actually moving past these lorries and stuff, got water flying up everywhere, like this tiny little gap on the inside I'm trying to squeeze through. And it was chaos, but so much fun as I'm running. I'm feeling pretty good. Like I felt I was working hard, but I was pacing it perfectly. So even when it got tough and the hills started to kick in maybe that last 5K or so, I'm still accelerating up them. And I catch sight with maybe 4 or 3K to go, the Yamagata car in the distance. And I realized, wait, I've cut a huge gap down now. It was 3 minutes to start with, and I'm now down to about a minute only. And I kick so hard in that last kind of 1K, 2K, trying to just close the gap as much as possible. And this is where, if you see very closely on the stream, just in the distance here, as the Yamagata changeover happens, you can see me coming in about 40 seconds behind. So I was absolutely buzzing with the effort there, averaging 307 a K, which I thought was completely impossible. Based off my training recently, that should not have been possible. I've managed to raise it to a whole nother level, which is just the power of the Ekiden. And I've given my team a fighting chance, and they're now back in contention for that top spot. Oh man, that was one of the maddest races I've ever done. Absolute carnage, just so much fun. It's weird, 'cause it's like a solo time trial, start to finish. It was only at the end that I managed to catch sight of the leader. Even so, it's weird, it still felt like I was running with people, I guess, because you got the car behind shouting support and calling out splits and cheering you on. It's sick that you're running with the team. So I feel like you can take it to that next level. So I kind of see now how Japanese runners seem to always break national records and run crazy times during the Ekiden that almost they can't replicate in flat marathons and half marathons. When you've got that team pressure on your back, it just means you have to deliver, like you can't slow down. So I think the team aspect to the Ekiden is actually legendary. Nanyo higashi yokitama. Let's go, ganbarimashou! So the boys fought valiantly over the last few legs of the day to actually break the course record on day one. But alas, the Yamagata team were even stronger and put 3 minutes into us in total by the end. But with the Ekiden, there's still so much to play for and everything can change in an instant. Oh, it's all going off. We've got the live stream going here, the team chat with timing updates, so you can see the gap from the leaders, and a cheeky little newspaper article. We'll look at that in a second. But anyway, we're on day 2 of the Ekiden, and I've got to say, this is the greatest running event on earth. The Ekiden, what a concept. It's like 5 hours each day, but still there's so many changes and back and forths. We're fighting for contention at the moment. I think, so overall, today on day 2, we've gained about a minute and a half on the Yamagata, who were leading yesterday's by about 3 minutes. So we've cut that deficit down in half, and we've got a strong lineup today. Some of the boys earlier put in some monster shifts from our team, the Nanyo team, absolutely hammering it. And we're now currently second on day 2. So everyone starts at the same place again. It resets effectively, but that time deficit, everyone's different, rolls on from day to day. Let's follow along to the action. And actually this morning, I thought this was pretty cool. I picked up the local paper. And look at this, the full spread of the Ekiden. Oh, it's front page news here in Yamagata. But look at this. Me and Mitsutake from the ND Soft team, who's also part of our Nanyo squad. And that was him handing over to me. So we managed to close about 4 minutes, I think, in total on Yamagata between us across our 2 legs. And we had a whole write-up here about, I guess, a little backstory on me and how Mitsutake had surgery on his throat recently. Wasn't sure he was going to be able to run, but then came back for the team. And I was this, I guess, mystery runner from the UK who'd come over to Nanyo to train with the ND Soft boys and pursue the running dream out here. Also on this, why do I look like such an absolute unit? That picture can't be right. I'm about twice the size of my teammate. All of these other Japanese guys, they're tiny. Look, that's the battle I'm facing. I'm just a natural fridge freezer. That's me without touching a weight in about 5 years. Just natural cart horse right there. But there were some serious greyhounds in the Yamagata team as they closed in on us over the course of day 2. And by the time the final leg came around, we realized it was going to be a finish for the ages. Right, it's crunch time. I've headed out to the course. This is Nagai. It's actually pretty close to Nanyo, and this is where the second day finishes. I'm watching it on my phone, the stream, and they should come past here in maybe 10 minutes or so. Final leg, and it's dead even. Yamagata and Nanyo battling it out at the front. Come on, the boys. Oh, it's coming down to the final kick here. Oh, it's gonna be close. Come on in! Oh, go on, go on, go on. Ogawa-san, fight! Come on in, come on in! Fight, lasto! So leaving it all out there on the course and fighting to the very end, it was a legendary effort. But once again, we'd been bested by Yamagata, who were proving to be an unbreakable force, taking the day 2 victory as well, and cementing their gap on the leaderboard as we sat in second. A final team talk was needed and a war cry to finish to bring on day 3 where it was win or die trying. So you should recognise this spot from the last video, slightly more lively today, a little more people. And this is obviously the start of the 23rd leg. So this is my speed leg this morning. Still feeling a little bit tired from my half marathon or my 20K. That was 2 days ago. So I had just a little jog yesterday, recovery mode. And it's actually turned out that this leg is the international leg. Got a couple Kenyan boys who I've raced with plenty of times and trained with a few times as well. So there's some high level competition today. We're bringing the Yamagata Ekiden to the world. Now the day 3 leg here, this was my time to shine. Obviously the last one, the live stream on day 1, I hadn't featured at all. I'd put in a monster shift. I'd killed myself on that day to run basically a 65-minute half marathon. Great little check there. So it's like, yeah, I'm coming into some good shape right now. But where was my recognition on the stream? Obviously, I'd been closing the gap, but the Yamagata guy had so much of a lead to start with that I barely featured. But this time, I'd been set up very nicely. Because we had the Endy soft runner, Shimatsu, on that first leg, he'd managed to get me about a 30-second lead coming in as I took the second leg of day 3. And so my role was to basically hold off the runners behind. Now, this leg that I was taking finishes in Yonezawa, and it's a popping leg there. And it's where a lot of the top runners run. So I had some very good guys behind me that I knew were going to be chasing me down, especially that Yamagata runner, who I've actually battled with loads before and in half marathons and stuff. He's in the 28-minute for 10K, 13-minute range for the 5K. So he's a proper speed man, and I'm probably a bit stronger over that longer distances. Then obviously you've got Benjamin as well. He's actually ran a 60 flat for half marathon back in the day. He's now obviously an amateur runner, but still ridiculously quick. And I'm coming in here so unbelievably tired. I can't describe how banged up my legs were. Just on the warm-up, I'm thinking 4 minute per K is difficult. How am I gonna run low 3s? But I just had to think, if we have any chance of winning this thing and pulling back 3 minutes on Yamagata, I've got to put in a monster shift. So I just had to lay it all out there, and I went out hot. I thought if I can just maintain that gap at the start, not let them close back in, the Yamagata team, then I could create enough distance, then I could probably hold them off for the leg. But I was a little worried as I'm coming through those first couple splits and we're going sub 3 minute pace. And again, this leg rises throughout. So it's point to point. It's not a huge climb, but it's noticeable enough where that middle section is going to get tough. I'm feeling very good for the first couple K. Support as well, crazy. I had loads of my teammates out on the course, loads of the local community coming out because it's pretty close to Nanyo this. So many shouts of like, Jake, let's go. Like people absolutely loving it. It was unreal. Had that sign there from Otsu. He's one of the guys I've been training with loads recently. Legendary, he made that sign for me. So that was getting me gassed up. But I'm not gonna lie, I was worried. About 5K, my splits, you can see here from Koros, they start slowing a little bit and I'm working hard. My heart rate though, can't even get up. I think so I'm so cooked from that flat out half marathon just 2 days before this. Like if it wasn't for the Ekiden, I'd still be jogging for a few more days. Like I'd be in recovery mode, but I had no choice but to kill myself once again. I've never done anything like this before. 2 flat out efforts within the space of 3 days. And so I'm strong through that first 5K, just dipping under 15 minutes. It's funny because I actually did a flat out 5K on the track. You remember that race video where I ran the exact same time? That was an all out effort for 5K. I've just gone through that during a 13K leg on for the same pace. But the 6K here is a 3:05 and that's got a bit of climbing in. And then we've got another few 3:03, 3:06, 3:10. Man, I am dying at this point. If I'm killing myself in a marathon, it's like everything. I'm losing vision, sight, all of that. This is purely just muscle fatigue. It's like my quads are obliterated. And speaking of which, why do I look so unbelievably big on this live stream? Man, it's so annoying. I am just not built for running. I feel like I'm fighting my genetics. Watching this back, couldn't believe it, because I look at myself in the mirror, I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty lean, especially compared to before, back in the day when I was MMA fighting. I was like 80 kg and I'm now down to about 68 or so. But still, I just carry so much natural muscle. Like, I am not built for running. I'm fighting against my natural born weaponly instincts here. I should never ever be a runner. I should be in that MMA cage. That's what I'm built for. But I just love running that stupidly I've decided to go down this running career. But you can tell, looking at these guys behind, like they are stick thin, carrying nothing on them. It's so hard, me, especially on these hills here, trying to work up there when I'm carrying 15 kg extra on these boys I'm running with. And I just thought if I can get to 10K, I know from there, we're going to be coming into the city, into Yonezawa. The crowd's going to be mad and it's going to be relatively flat. It's going to be the last of the hills. And this is what the support car is screaming at me. Like, they're going crazy. Like, it was hard. I was trying to focus, like take in the Japanese as well, because obviously they're all shouting in Japanese. And you know, my Japanese isn't great at the best of times, but I'm trying to understand while I'm exhausted. And I think they're shouting like, okay, this is the last of the hills. Let's get up here. And then it's downhill. This is your strong point here. And then the bit that almost made me laugh was they were like, everyone's watching you on YouTube. They're saying this in Japanese. They're like, everyone's watching. Come on, let's go, let's go. And that did fire me up even more. I'm like, the live stream's popping off. The people are here. The RTJ army, I cannot let them down. And I have no idea how I managed this still, but I did rally somehow in that last 3K and managed to drop 3:02, 3 flat, 2:59, and then that last half a K, 2:52 pace. I know the Yamagata runner, Osawa, is closing in on me, but I've just got to hold that gap. And I managed to maintain just about 3:02 average with an average effort pace of 3 flat, which I'm buzzing with. That shows that, yeah, I'm in about 30-minute 10K shape, if not slightly under, especially if I'm fresh. I've done this off the back of a flat out half marathon. But I think if I wasn't in an Ekiden race, I would nowhere near have got close to that effort. I'd have been more like 3:10 per K, just because I had to kill myself for the team to hold it there. And that is just why the Ekiden is so good.
Oh, I'm just plodding a warm down now. That was the hardest I've ever had to push in a race. I've never been that tired, that far out from the finish, and had to still maintain and even pick up. That was just a different kind of pain. Like, my legs had absolutely nothing. Oh, mate, just filming for YouTube. Mate, you smashed it. Oh, nice, how was it? It was good. You were about 3-minute flat. Yeah, 3-1. That's a good run. Man, my legs were so tired. I was like 3:02. No problem, it's good. No, not bad. Yeah, it's good, exactly. Yeah, he's strong. What a runner.
So I couldn't quite follow up on my day 1 stage victory with this leg on the 3rd day, but I couldn't have done any more. Which the same could be said for the whole team who left it all out there. And we headed over to Yamagata City itself for the culmination of this Ekiden to see who would be crowned the overall champions. So the Yamagata team were truly unbeatable, winning all 3 days, and even though we smashed the course record by 10 minutes, they still put 6 minutes into us in total during this historic 70th running of the Yamagata Ekiden. A valiant 2nd place finish for Nanyo Higashi Okitama, and I was honoured to receive the team's Most Valuable Player award. The festivities didn't end there though, as a ceremonial banquet took place to commend the team's effort, and the whole city council, including the mayor and all the other top dogs, were there. This was a legendary evening filled with all the traditional Japanese customs.
万歳感謝いたします。万歳。万歳。万歳。
で、また来年、じゃあ頑張っていきましょう。お疲れ様です。
And it wouldn't be complete without a nomikai, an all-you-can-drink after party.
お疲れ様です。乾杯。いい動きもしてんな。
My orange juice really did go down a treat, but what an unreal event to be a part of. It was crazy. The day after Ekiden, I was getting recognised everywhere, all around Nanyo. People stopping me and saying well done and great run. So it's mad to think everyone was watching this and getting behind it. But I tell you what, it's going to be an impossible decision next year, choosing between competing again in this or the London Marathon. Let me know in the comments what you think I should pick. But until next time, this has been Jake with Ran to Japan. I'll catch you in the next one, but remember, train harder, not smarter. Let's go!